Hello and welcome back to this course of videos on Node.js. If you recall back to the previous video, we highlighted the difference between reading and writing files as one big lump using the fs.read file and fs.write file. So basically, using that method, you're reading the entire data source into memory, and then once you've filled up memory with the entire data source, then and only then will you transmit that data from memory to the actual destination. Now, the other way we looked at was the method called streaming. Now, with streaming, we used, as you can see up on the screen here, we used a method called createreadstream. Now, instead of, as before with fs.read file, where we were reading the entire data source, in this case readme.txt, reading the entire thing into memory before then transferring it to its next destination, we were reading in smaller, what's called chunks into memory, into what's called a memory buffer. And what we were doing, what you can see here with this method, is we created our read stream, first of all, using the fs.createreadstream. Then, as we said, the streams inherit from event emitters, and that means streams are able to emit events. And what this read stream does is it emits a data event once it has one chunk in its memory buffer. So this data event here, the read stream is saying, hey, I've received a chunk, so tell me what to do with this chunk now. I don't need to have the whole of the text file read into my memory. I have one chunk in my memory. If you remember, there was 4 chunks altogether when we read previously. He's saying, I've got the first chunk. What do you want me to do with it? Now, what we did in the previous video was we just logged the chunk out to the console. Now, what we're actually going to do now is create a write stream. And what this write stream is going to do is actually, instead of just console.logging the chunk, it's going to write the chunk to our destination file, which is going to be called writeme.txt, as it was in prior videos. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a write stream and pass it a single parameter, which is the file that we're going to write to. So this is now our write stream, and quite simply, instead of console.logging, we're going to do mywritestream.write and pass the chunk as a parameter. Now, what this is going to do is going to write the chunk to our write stream, which is actually going to write it to writeme.txt. I'll just get rid of the console.logs, and we can actually run this now, and we'll see, if I go back to my Windows Explorer, and I'm going to delete the previous writeme.txt that we created. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go to my git bash and run this program. So again, instead of console.logging the chunks, if you remember it was 4 chunks, it's now going to, it would have written these to the writeme.txt. And here we are, that the text file is completed. Now, one last thing to add on this, there is some, what some refer to as syntactic sugar that Node has created. So it's really just shorthand. So instead of actually writing this data event here, this data on data, then pass the chunk to the write stream, you can simply use a command, a method called pipe. So you basically will be replacing all of this, instead of listening to the data and writing the chunk to the write stream. Instead, what we're going to do is say .pipe, and the argument that we're going to pass to the pipe method is the write stream. So you can see this is just shorthand. I'm going to save this, go back to my Windows Explorer just to prove to you it's going to work. Delete this and save this, back to my git bash, and once again run the streaming file, and it's run, and using the pipe command instead of the on data event, you can now see that it has piped the chunks to the writeme.txt and created exactly the same thing. So I hope that gives you a thorough understanding of the difference between reading and writing in bulk and reading and writing in what we call chunks into the memory buffer. It's a much more efficient way of doing things and will serve you very well. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.